What did I know about Alanya before I came here? Just that it is one of the most popular destinations for summer holidays in Turkey, that one of the most beautiful and famous beaches of Turkey is located here. It's called Cleopatra Beach, with such golden sand and azure water. And that Alanya is the warmest resort city in Turkey. So, such information was enough to get here. Therefore, without thinking twice, I booked a room in a hotel on the first line of Cleopatra Beach and went to Alanya. I arrived at the hotel late in the evening and woke up in the morning and went straight to the beach. And here all the questions about why Alanya is so popular have disappeared by themselves. You look to the right. There are stunning views of the Alanya Mountains. The beach on the left, Cleopatra rests on a peninsula with a fortress. Well, if you look directly, there is a beautiful sea with clear water. In general, it's just amazing to be here. But I didn't come here for a beach vacation at the hotel, but in order to get to know Alanya better and see the local attractions. Therefore, we immediately move into the city. My favorite time to travel around Turkey is spring. There are only advantages for traveling. There are few people, everything is blooming and it's fragrant. The air temperature is perfect. It's not hot or cold. It's a pleasure to walk. On my way to the first attraction, I came across such a small green park located on Cleopatra Beach. A very nice place to spend time. There are fountains and sports benches here and playgrounds. In general, a standard park set. We don't stay long here either. We run through the park and we find ourselves at the Damlatash Cave. Paid 60 liras per ticket at the entrance, which is at the exchange rate was about 2 euros, and we find ourselves here in such a magical place. The cave is amazing. Such unusual shapes of these stone icicles hanging from above. Stalactites, stalagmites. Very unusual. The cave was discovered in 1948 at the opening the quarry for the extraction of stones for the construction of the port, and was immediately taken under protection. This is the first cave in Turkey, which was open to tourists. The age of stalactites and stalagmites in the cave is 15,000 years old. From Turkish, damla is translated as a drop, and tash is a stone. For thousands of years, drops the waters fell from the ceiling and formed such a beauty. The cave is small, it has only 2 floors, and they say that the air in the cave is healing and will be helpful for asthmatics. I was personally impressed by the cave. I've never seen anything like this in my life before. After the Damlatash Cave, I sat down to get rest on a bench at the museum, and then I saw that a huge cat was heading towards me. At first I thought that one of the sights of Alanya found me by itself, but it apparently turned out to be his brother. Just the same big cat. I'll explain everything now. If you search in Google for the lair of the big cat, it will give you a point on the map where the most famous cat of Alanya lives, which the locals named Obez Kedi. That it translates as a fat cat from Turkish. The nickname is offensive, but it's really huge. The cat quickly earned fame and love. If you're going to visit him, employees of the municipality ask not to bring a food to it. Obez already eats a lot of food, which is scattered here and there on the streets of Alanya. Well, we're moving out. Then we go to the Archaeological Museum. The entrance cost 130 liras, which was about 4 euros at the exchange rate. It contains findings of Anatolian civilizations from different periods: Classical, Hellenistic, Byzantine, Roman, Seljuk period, and the Ottoman Empire. I will not focus on the exhibits. I will just show that there are such interesting halls here where you can look at household items, ancient amphorae, preserved mosaics, sculptures, various works of art, and antique coins. In general, here you can find with an echo of bygone eras and civilizations. The museum is small, but in my opinion it is very interesting. In the garden of the museum there are ancient sarcophaguses, which are also belong to various periods and epochs. Lycian sarcophaguses, Roman, as well as Seljuk and Ottoman tombstones. In general, I liked the museum. If you are in Alanya and get tired of relaxation on the beach, then the museum definitely worth a visit. As a bonus, you can meet turtles and peacocks in the yard. Archaeological Museum of Alanya deserves the like. Well, finally we move to the main attraction, Alanya Castle. You can get to it by walking, by bus, or on the cable car, but I was unlucky. The cable car didn't work that day, so I took a taxi from the museum to it. probably the most popular and visited attraction of the resort. There is no accurate information about by whom and when the fortress was built. The first fortifications were built here back in pre-Byzantine times. The place of construction of the defensive structure was not chosen by chance, and it was self-evident. The peninsula is 250 meters high, with steep, inaccessible cliffs washed by the Mediterranean Sea on 3 sides. It is an extremely successful place for a fortress. The current appearance of the fortress, it was acquired in the 13th century during the time of the Seljuks. Sultan Ala ad-Din Kayqubad conquered the fortress and started a large-scale construction activity here. He strengthened the old fortress walls, built new ones, and gave a new name to the city of Alanya, derived from his own name, and the current name, Alanya, was given by Ataturk, who visited the city in 1935. This is the fortress guard guarding the passage. Who's going here? Who's squeaking? We will begin our acquaintance with the fortress from the very top of the mountain, from Inner Fortress. Here, an ammunition, water, and food supplies were stored, and people lived here during the siege. During period's peace, people lived behind the wall of the Inner Fortress. There are very few preserved buildings inside the fortress, cisterns and bathrooms. The oldest of the buildings is a monument to the Byzantine era. The Church of St. George was built in the 4th to 5th century before Christ. There are no interesting expositions in the Inner Fortress. There are only a couple of rooms with information stands. In a one word, to be honest, I did not feel the spirit of history here. The only thing, in my opinion, for which you can buy a ticket here is the views and panoramas that can be observed from the Inner Fortress, and it was brightened up the whole impression of the visit. Oh my God, how beautiful it is. What are the views from the fortress? Wow, the whole city is in full view. The fortress is so huge, there's a mini city inside it. These are the walls. It's incredible. Super. I thought the views from that side were awesome. What a rock! What a sea! It's just crazy. And on the other side, the rock is also so beautiful, and that's how you look up. And there's Cleopatra Beach and the beautiful Alanya. Awesome. Friends, I am so impressed. In my opinion, the most interesting thing is outside the walls of the Inner Fortress. The fortress walls stretch along the perimeter of the Alanian Mountain for 6.5 kilometers, and inside the walls of the fortress they are adjacent echoes of different eras. Here you can see ancient mosques and Ottoman villas of the 19th century. Some of them, like bird nests, literally hang on the slopes of the mountain. More than a dozen have been preserved by the wall towers, fortress bastions, and several gates. Some of the entrance arches are decorated with ancient in writing. And part of the fortress wall, it goes down to the sea, to the Red Tower. We will go to it now. Along the way, you will come across these Ottoman houses, restored and in excellent condition. It is a pleasure to walk among them from above the fortress. From time to time, there will be observation decks, also with very beautiful panoramas of another part of the city. On the way, we meet another fortress guard who is on duty, and we pass through such gates in the fortress wall and find ourselves near to the Kuzul Kule, the Red Tower. The Red Tower is one of the most important symbols of the city of Alanya. Here, among the other towers near the old fortress, it stands out for its massiveness and color. It was also built in the 13th century by Sultan Ala ad-Din Kayqubad to protect the port and shipyard. The tower is 33 meters high and has an octagonal shape and consists of 5 floors. Up to 2,000 people could hide behind its massive walls in case of a siege. The Ethnographic Museum is located on the ground floor of the tower. The price for an entrance ticket here is around €2. By the time I arrived, the tower was already closed, unfortunately, so I'm only showing it to you from the outside. If you walk past the ticket kiosk, you can climb the fortress wall, from which you can open stunning views of the sea and the shipyard, Tersane in Turkish. It was built by the same sultan who wanted to strengthen his influence in the waters of the Mediterranean Sea. The shipyard consists of 5 rooms, which are separated by walls with sharp arches. Ships were built and repaired here during the times of the Seljuks and the Ottoman Empire. Now it is a museum, and you can walk along the wall to the shipyard. Well, we are moving with you to the embankment of the port of Alanya. Various cave tours can be purchased here, which are hidden in the rocks of the peninsula. Of course, I regret very much that I did not have time to ride on the boat. There are different programs, sightseeing tours from an hour to several hours. In addition, on the embankment you can meet such a pretty waterfall. It's not natural, but artificial. Mostly for general aesthetics of the places made here. Well, according to the standard, there are kiosks with cotton candy and corn on the embankment. By the way, I like to grab bardak mısır in such kiosks. This is corn in a cup, a very delicious thing. I advise you to try it. Well, the embankment is nice and we are heading back to Cleopatra Beach. I will say a few more words about the hotel and the general impressions of Alanya. I stayed for a couple of nights in a hotel like this right on the seashore. The hotel is affordable for the price, at least at the beginning of the season. A night in this hotel cost me around 65 euros. In the season, the price, of course, will be higher. The hotel is very ordinary, 4 stars, but my stay here was pleasant. Its most important bonus is its proximity to the sea, the main attractions of Alanya, and the bus station. Plus, the price includes breakfasts and dinners. In the evening, after a long walking out on the beach and falling into a sun lounger to watch the sunset, is a thrill in the highest degree. In general, I liked Alanya and the cool atmosphere of the city. You feel like you came to the resort on vacation. The beauty of Alanya is fascinating. I really wanted to stay here for a little longer. I regretted it after leaving, that I only planned to go to Alanya for a couple of days. Well, the next video will be from Antalya. Therefore, subscribe to the channel so as not to miss it. And if you liked this video, don't forget about likes and comments. I also invite you to watch and other videos from my travels. They will now appear on the screen. Well, I will finish this video. See you soon on new travels.